Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about power. Real power is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's not slamming doors, sending long messages, or trying to win an argument. Real power is calm. When a man hurts you, the natural reaction is to fire back. You want him to feel what you feel. You want him to understand the pain immediately. But the truth is, when you react emotionally, you give away control. Your calm is your power, not your weakness. Most people misunderstand calmness. They think if you don't react, if you don't raise your voice, if you don't show anger immediately, then you must not care. That is not true. Calm is not the absence of feeling. It is the mastery of it. When someone hurts you, your emotions rise instantly. Your heart beats faster. Your mind fills with things you want to say. In that moment, reacting feels powerful. But reacting is easy. Control is rare. When you stay calm, you send a silent message that you are not controlled by impulse. You are not driven by emotion. You are grounded. That kind of energy shifts everything. Instead of escalating the situation, you slow it down. Instead of pouring fuel on the fire, you remove the oxygen. Calmness forces the other person to look at themselves instead of defending against your anger. Many people lose respect when they lose control. Words spoken in anger can weaken your position. Yelling may release pressure for a moment, but it often creates regret afterward. Calmness protects your dignity. It allows you to think clearly. It gives you the ability to respond instead of react. And there is a big difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is emotional and immediate. Response is thoughtful and intentional. When you remain calm after being hurt, you demonstrate strength. You show that your emotions are valid, but they do not rule you. This can be unsettling to the person who expected chaos. They may have prepared themselves for an argument. They may have expected drama. But calmness disrupts that expectation. It creates space. It introduces maturity into the moment. Calm does not mean you accept disrespect. It means you address it with clarity instead of chaos. You can firmly express your feelings without losing your balance. You can set boundaries without shouting. You can walk away without slamming the door. That steady composure builds inner confidence. Over time, it teaches others that you cannot be manipulated through emotional triggers. True power is quiet. It stands tall without needing to prove itself. When you choose calm, you choose control. And when you control yourself, you control the direction of the situation. Emotional control shifts the balance in any relationship. When emotions take over, the person who loses control often loses influence. The moment you begin yelling, over-explaining, or reacting impulsively, the focus moves away from the issue and onto your behavior. Instead of discussing what happened, the conversation becomes about how you reacted. That shift weakens your position. But when you maintain emotional control, the balance changes. The attention stays on the action that caused the hurt, not on your response. Emotional control does not mean suppressing your feelings. It means managing them wisely. You can feel anger, disappointment, or sadness without letting those emotions dictate your behavior. When you pause before speaking, when you choose measured words instead of sharp ones, you demonstrate maturity. That maturity creates stability. Stability creates respect. In many situations, the person who remains composed naturally holds more power. Calm energy forces the other person to adjust. If they come with intensity and you respond with steadiness, the contrast is clear. One person is reactive, the other is grounded. Over time, people learn that they cannot provoke you easily. That realization alone shifts the dynamic. Emotional control also protects you from manipulation. Some individuals rely on triggering strong reactions to avoid accountability. If they can make you angry enough, the conversation derails. But when you refuse to be pulled into that emotional storm, you stay focused. You ask direct questions. You set clear boundaries. You make decisions from logic rather than temporary feelings. Relationships thrive on emotional stability. When one person consistently shows control, it creates a sense of safety and predictability. It shows that conflicts can be handled without chaos. That steadiness encourages healthier communication. Instead of escalating arguments, you create space for resolution. True strength is not about dominating a conversation. It is about directing it with composure. Emotional control gives you that direction. It allows you to choose the tone, the pace, and the outcome of your response. When you master your emotions, you quietly shift the balance in your favor. Silence and composure create curiosity and respect. When someone hurts you, they often anticipate an immediate response. They expect confrontation, explanation, or emotional intensity. That expectation gives them a sense of predictability. But when you choose silence and maintain your composure, you interrupt that pattern. You remove the reaction they were prepared for. That unexpected calm creates curiosity. They begin to wonder what you are thinking, how you are feeling, and what you will do next. Silence has a unique power. It forces space into the conversation. In that space, reflection begins. Without noise or argument to distract from the situation, the other person is left alone with their thoughts. They replay what happened. They consider their words and actions. Silence does not attack, but it speaks clearly. It communicates that you are not willing to engage in chaos. It shows that you value your peace more than winning an argument. Composure strengthens that message. Your body language, your tone, and your facial expression all communicate stability. Even if you feel hurt inside, maintaining outward calm shows emotional discipline. That discipline earns respect over time. People tend to respect what they cannot easily disturb. If you remain steady when provoked, you demonstrate strength that does not rely on volume or aggression. Curiosity grows when there is mystery. When you do not over-explain or defend yourself immediately, you create room for the other person to think. They may begin to question whether they misjudged you or underestimated your resilience. That questioning shifts the dynamic. Instead of you trying to be heard, they start trying to understand. Silence is not about ignoring problems. It is about choosing the right moment and tone to address them. Composure ensures that when you do speak, your words carry weight. Because you did not waste them in emotional reaction, they become intentional and meaningful. That intentional communication commands attention. Over time, people learn that your calm presence is not weakness, but strength wrapped in restraint. Responding wisely protects your dignity and your heart. When you are hurt, the immediate urge is often to defend yourself, to prove your point, or to make the other person feel the same pain. But not every reaction serves your long-term well-being. Wisdom in response means thinking beyond the moment. It means asking yourself what outcome truly benefits you instead of what satisfies your emotions right now. Dignity is something that can be damaged in seconds, but takes a long time to rebuild. Harsh words, desperate actions, or emotional outbursts may feel justified, yet they can leave you feeling exposed afterward. When you respond wisely, you preserve your self-respect. You speak with clarity instead of aggression. You choose firm boundaries instead of dramatic exits. Even if the situation ends, you walk away knowing you handled yourself with grace. Protecting your heart is equally important. Emotional wounds deepen when situations escalate unnecessarily. A wise response prevents small conflicts from becoming lasting scars. It gives you time to process your feelings privately before sharing them publicly. It allows you to decide whether the issue deserves conversation, correction, or distance. Not every hurt requires a battle. Some require reflection, others require release. Wisdom also involves understanding patterns. If someone repeatedly causes harm, a wise response might not be another discussion, but a change in access. You limit how much of yourself you offer. You adjust expectations. You stop investing energy where it is not valued. That decision is not revenge, it is protection. Guarding your heart does not mean becoming cold. It means being intentional about where you place your vulnerability. When you respond wisely, you act from strength rather than impulse. You show that your peace matters more than temporary validation. Over time, this approach builds inner confidence. You begin to trust yourself because you know you will not betray your own standards in moments of pain. That trust strengthens your emotional foundation. Wisdom in response is a quiet shield. It keeps your character intact and your heart steady, even when circumstances try to shake you.